group.
Buffer cache group. Who's that?
Patrick.
Okay. Okay, good. I just allowed it to you as well. So 2 more.
Hello, on our group not there.
Which group?
Something. So in this case, I don't have
we have
everybody, right?
Lana Solution Center.
Yeah, that was
Excuse me, Emira. We also, you know, we have a group, the general Dropbox group, right?
Yes.
So,
So like, do we need to keep doing, like, since everyone is gonna have, like, every group is, we don't need the Dropbox anymore?
No, we need it. We need it. Come on.
I think we still need the Dropbox, but the thing is, every time we have class, at least 40 people are asking for recording, which doesn't make really sense because you guys only have like 5 or 6 groups, I think. So why do you have 40 people? It implies somehow that you're not working really together. Like some people are working solo, right?
Yeah.
So, and in DB2, like you want to work with others. I already have you have one assignment and you have another assignment that I prepared for you. So it's a challenging one. So you would definitely need to work with your classmates and discuss with your group members, right? So I think you should keep it in your Dropbox, but we do have less people asking for the permission to record.
Oh, I think
yes.
Anita, please stick it on the work, please.
Anita always record for the Dropbox. Maybe
yeah, I know, but the thing is that some people say they cannot have access to the Dropbox. That's why they're asking for the permission to record, right?
Everyone has access to the Dropbox. They're they just want it for themselves.
Correct.
Oh, they just want it for them. I mean, what's the point if they have access to the Dropbox? I'm not sure it makes. Anyway, okay.
Emira, we got it the way you said it. I think it's good that way. It makes sense.
Yeah.
No, what you say is makes sense. I say, and at least the 4 people you can give Anita because Anita always put in the Dropbox.
Yeah,
Anita is the first. Anita should be the first person ever if at all.
Okay, she has a permission.
Good.
So we have 3 and 1 more normally from one other group. So you guys only have 4 groups?
Maybe the other group doesn't need it.
Okay, they don't need. Okay, good.
Cameron.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I was muted. We have Lanham Solution Center.
Okay, Lanham Solution Center. That's Koji.
Yeah, no, don't send it here. Let me connect to my laptop, please.
Okay.
Bello, don't enable group. Now already it shows it on us. Already topic. Lam Solution Center.
Solution Center. If you have any issue, come to Solution Center.
Exactly. That's very good.
It's very good. No, I say buffer cash.
Buffer cash. Me no le cash you.
Where is Chair?
Okay, Emma, you can send it to this one.
Which one?
Yeah, this one. My name, Koji.
Okay, I'm only seeing one Koji here.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, do you guys have any question from DB1? Do you have any question from DB1?
I have a question.
Sure.
Actually, in DB1, I remember we only use 2 types of, like 2 data types, which is VACA and number. But I realized there are others, for example.
We didn't only use 2.
Oh, okay.
We use date, I believe.
Yeah, date also. My question is the other ones, what are they used for? For example, I know returns, number is for returns, for example, and VACA is for IT. The other ones I use for what?
The other one I use, I can hear you.
I'm asking the other ones I use for what? Like, how do we use the other ones? The other data
Varchar, right, is variable character, meaning number, letters. You can even put a comma in there. It would work. You have date. Those are for dates. Numbers for either. You have characters. Those are only for letters. I'm sorry, that there's a background noise. Numbers, car, right? Car 20, for example. Those are for letters only. But that one is for, I would advise you to do your own research on that. This is the whole point of DB2. You do your own research and you come up with all the different data type that you can have.
Actually, I did, but I could not see how are they used for example, what you just said about VACA, numbers, and dates. So I saw the other ones, but I could not see how they're used, like where.
You practice it. You practice to see how it works. For example, for you to know how, for example, car works, you need to practice, right?
Okay.
You need to create a table and use it in a table and see that, okay, this is how car would work. This is how VACAR 2 would work. This is how VACAR would work. So this is
okay. Thank you.
Are we good? Anything else from DB1? No.
Emma.
Yes.
So we in DB1 we only try to we use but first tier connection and second. So I was wondering if we're not gonna do the third tier connection. Or what about it?
No, we are not going to be using 3-tier connection. You are the DB, you connect as DBA, right? As the DBA, as the system administrator. Why would you need a 3-tier connection?
I want to know how to create an app.
For you to create an app, you would connect as a developer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, which would require a 2-tier connection, not 3-tier. You connect in a 3-tier, you use a 3-tier connection every day when you connect to Amazon, when you connect to Bank of America, Walmart.com, right?
Wow.
So you already do that all the time. Why do you want to do that here? I mean, I'm asking.
I'm saying anyway, it's okay. I was curious if we're gonna develop an app or something.
Develop an app?
An application.
No. We are studying database administration. We want to become database administrator, not developers. Right?
Emma, excuse me.
Yes.
If someone asks what tools are you guys using? Like what tools are best can we say we use?
What are you using? You should answer that because you should know what you've been using so far.
Oh.
You've been using SQL Plus, right?
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
That's not a convincing.
Actually, that's what I told the person. But to say with you,
you've been using SQL Developer, right?
Huh?
You know that we have SQL Plus SQL Developer. You've been using PuTTY, VNC, and you've been using WinSCP to have access to your file.
You're rushing it. I'm getting confused now. You say we are using a SQL developer, and now you're calling PuTTY. I'm getting confused here.
I mean, you say what are the tools, right? We use PuTTY to have access to the database and even to the operating system, right?
Uh-huh.
And we also use SQL. Okay, you guys should have SQL Developer installed, or you
Yeah,
should
because
use
that
it.
is what I told the person, but actually I don't have the SQL developer installed on my
What do you mean? We all do. You should go back and check the email you received from Prof. The first email, you should have the steps to install SQL Developer. It should come with the other Daxpudi, WinSCP. SQL Developer is there. Or if you don't have it, because for whatever reason, you can always install it yourself.
All right, okay.
On Google, yeah.
So if you answered me correctly, when someone asks, I can say SQL developer and that's all, or I have to put a PuTTY and the rest, like you said.
Yeah, you can use everything you've used, right? You've used all of them. And you can even do your own research and install other things. For example, I install like Xmings. I install other things that I use with PuTTY. So you can install you do your own research and you find new things, you install them. Whatever you like or whatever is convenient for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's not a question for me. That's a question for yourself, actually, because you should know the tools. But I would advise you guys to use SQL Developer. It's good. Okay, do we have any more questions from DB1? No. Okay, let's move on. I'm going to share my screen.
I have a question, Emerald.
Sure.
I'm not sure if this is really DB1, but I was just wondering, the snap file that is usually in your DBS, where your P file and your SP file is found, like how does that come about? Because I've noticed like not all my databases have that.
You say the snap file?
Yes. Snap CF.
Snap CF?
Yes.
Okay. I think it's the snapshot of the control file.
Of the control file?
Yeah, snap
Okay.
CF, right? CF.
Yes.
Yeah, that's snapshot of the control file.
Okay, so I'm supposed to have one for each database I have, right?
Yeah, normally you should have it.
Okay. All right. And
have it normally.
And
yes.
So
if you have Arman, if you use Arman for that database, you should have a snapshot of your control file.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Are we good? Okay. Any other question from DB1?
Yes, hello, Emerald.
Hello.
I have a question for you. Good evening. There is this error message I've been getting.
Oh, no. This is DB2. I'm not helping with error message. If you have an error message, you go to your
book. Yes, but I just want to find it like has to do with something holistic, it has to do with the whole, because my logical, it's not about a particular error message, it's the whole database. My database logically cannot see files that exist physically. Certain files,
because they don't exist. Is that because they don't exist logically? It means that your database isn't reading those physical files. They're just there for decoration. They are not used by your data.
So what could possibly
they are useless.
Yeah, what could possibly be the cause of?
You drop them?
Yeah.
That would be, you drop them?
Uh-huh.
You probably drop them logically, but you didn't drop them physically.
I didn't. I create the files physically.
Maybe you crash. You don't create files physically. If you create a file physically for it to have access to your database, tell me what will make the connection between the two. You
I
only
mean,
create a file
yeah.
physically if you know that it's not going to be part of the database. Remember that database files are binary files. You can, if you open them, you will just see gibberish. So you cannot just go and create it physically and expect it to be connected to your database.
No, I created them logically. This question in particular has to do with export the directory object file. I created.
If you created it logically, then it has to be there physically. If it's not there physically, it means that they were not created.
I created them logically, and they exist physically. But when I try to like reference the files, it tells me the file, it says the database, it says the file doesn't exist, but I see the file there.
You see the file physically?
Yes, I see the file physically.
But
and
you don't see the file logically?
Yes, it
means the files are not there. Another that can be the cause of it is if you drop a table space and you don't include contents and data files. It would just be dropped physically, but logically, but physically the files would still be there. That's why you need to including content and data files.
Yeah. Yeah, but like even without getting into the database, like when I just do an mkdir in the operating system environment, when I create a directory that way and I touch a file in it, and I go back to like WinSCP to check, I see the files. But when I open the database and try to do any kind of query to find out if that file is there, it tells me the file, the system is unable to read the file, and it goes particularly to like something that has to do with the UTL, the C.
That's what I just said, right? That's what I just said. You cannot create a file physical and expect it to be in your logical database. It doesn't make.
No, I created logically.
You say that you did mkdir and you put touch. So if you touched it, it means that you created it. You opened it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So you created it load physically, and then you go to SQL and you expect to see that file in your database.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
No, I've done it both ways. I've done it that way, and I've done it the other way around.
If you want to create data files, right? Mm-hmm. Alter table space, blah blah, and you add the data files. You specify the data. This is how you create data files. Or if you want to add control file, this is the same way. Or readlog file is the same way.
Okay. I'm not really willing. I don't really want to take up much of the time, but this is with particular reference to the directory object we create when we're trying to do an export or an import.
Yeah, you know that you don't go and you don't create the ADAM, right? They are created automatically, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I say. Like I create it and it exists, and I can go and look at it. I look it up. But when I'm trying to do the job, it says the system cannot read the file. It says a file is not present. And when I describe it from select all from DB_directories, I see the file there. It is physically it's present.
You need to check the spelling. You know that files are case sensitive, right?
No, it shouldn't be the spelling. I've done it over like 90 times.
There has to be a reason. There has to be a reason. And the error is probably coming from you. I mean, one thing is sure is that it cannot be a system, it cannot be a database that's not reading your file right or no. It has to be a human error.
Garbage in, garbage out.
Doubt. I doubt.
You doubt?
It should. Yeah, it should. It should be something with my server. I don't
think so. I don't think so. Share your screen. I don't think so. You have your computer?
Yes.
Share your screen.
Okay. I appreciate you taking the time to look into this.
Yeah, let's do it quickly though. 10 minutes.
Sure. Okay, just a quick second. Let me.
This is the first and last time I'm doing this because it's DB2 and you guys should figure out things in your groups.
All right, that's understandable.
Of DB2. Okay. It's the whole point of DB2. I wouldn't be helping you if I helped you like with the same things over and over. I wouldn't be helping you. But share your screen for that one.
I definitely understand. So, just give me about 20 seconds to connect and logging in right now.
You guys should have your canvas. Normally today is a bit, we won't be doing too much because you guys don't have your canvas yet. And I think you should have it today, Prof said. But the morning class, they don't have their canvas yet. So I think you might have it tomorrow. Otherwise, we would have directly started.
So, what about it? What about it? This? Oh, someone's talking.
Canvas.
I just sent you guys the assignment, the first assignment, and you guys will also have another assignment on Canvas, so that for the people who want to practice.
What's Canvas?
I'll show you. Where are you? We are waiting for you to share your screen.
Yes, I'm right here.
So Emma.
Yes.
What about our meeting days? Is
Monday and Wednesday.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No Fridays.
No Fridays unless you guys don't do your assignments.
Oh, that's what's up. That's good.
Yeah.
Mondays and Wednesdays.
Excuse me.
You said Mondays, Wednesdays.
Yes.
Oh, 2 days per week. Wow, that's great.
I'm gonna give you so many assignments.
No problem. No problem. Those 2 days. I mean, that's great.
I just sent the assignment already, so
Okay.
you can. People who wants to look at it, look at it.
So we're gonna be doing this assignment in our database or in the what did you call it?
I'll show you on Canvas.
Okay, Canvas. Is it a downloaded app or something?
I'll show you guys.
I know. I'm just asking. It has to be downloaded. You know, some people.
I'm gonna show you guys. Hey God. You will receive a link from Prof for you guys to have it, but he's still working on it. It's not done yet.
Canvas.
I think other students are getting their resumes, so that's why he's being busy.
Yes, this is my screen.
Okay, so what's the problem? Open PuTTY as well. Okay, you open PuTTY. So what are you looking for? Okay, show me the error that it shows you so that we can see it.
Okay, let's see.
Excuse me.
And look, you see, there is here, right here. You see these two control files.
They are not control files. They are trace
Control files, right?
Yeah.
You see they are present here.
Yeah, your database isn't reading them.
It's not reading them.
No. They are your control files that were backed up to trace for you to create new control files. Your database isn't reading those files.
Right.
You just use the scripts to create the control files.
So we can even take it out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can remove them if you don't need them anymore.
Yeah. But the thing is on the terminal it says it says the file doesn't exist, and it's the same with
On which terminal?
here right here on Putty.
Show me.
See, like when I try to execute.
Who's there?
Please mute yourself. Oh my goodness.
Now is Ankale Wadate. Now is Ankale Wadat.
What is it done?
You need to connect to the sequence.
Let
You need
him
to
do it.
connect. You need to
You need
Oh,
to connect to the sequence.
Is that
you need to connect to the database.
You need to connect to SQL. For
yes,
you
even
to,
that I've said this system is consistent, or this problem rather is consistent with
Do it now.
every other directory. It says it's not there. Look, if I try to do that, even after I haven't connected, it's the same thing.
It says connected to an idle instance.
Yes, it's,
This
but you should
SQL,
be able to read the file from here.
the SQL is even wrong.
Exactly.
I see SQ.
What's wrong with the system?
you put exclamation
Put
mark.
exclamation. Oh,
Oh my goodness. You can see that, right? So
yes.
you're basically sending it back to the operating system.
Let's try this another way.
Okay.
Just paste. No,
Why are you
Just paste.
exiting?
don't
paste.
exit. Just
Paste.
paste.
Paste. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, run it.
You know why it's not running? Because that file is empty. I see 0 kilobytes there. So
Let me show you something else. This is, say if I do
guys, you're in DB2. You're in DB2, it's more challenging.
believe me, alright, this problem has been like
I'm not seeing any problem you're having here. I think it's not enough practice from what I'm seeing here.
No, absolutely not. That's a cool.
Okay, if you say so, okay. I think I really need to like force some of you guys to really study more. I will.
Like let me
You see, it's 0 kilobytes. It's empty.
Yeah, let me take a more concrete example. Let's see. This is the FRA.
And you say that you think it's a server error. No, it's not a server issue at all. Like absolutely not.
Okay, you see this directory object, right? The DTPMP.
Yes.
You see it's present right here, and it has
you
a
have
log file.
Yeah.
And it says 1 kilobyte. There's nothing in it because I haven't been able to access it.
Why do you want to access it?
I was trying to do an export, and everything I've done it.
So you want to do an export and you want to access it, but I'm not seeing any dump file.
Any
dump file.
Yes, that's a corresponding problem, and it's something on its own. But just for the database to tell me that DTPMP is present as we said.
Okay, we have 4 minutes left.
Okay. This is what I'm trying to say. So
I just said that it was a lack of practice, and he said no, right?
Yes, I said that with no fear of contradiction whatsoever.
Okay.
All.
I think all you need to
Yeah.
put the sign. Yeah.
I said lack of practice. He said no, right?
Yeah. You see, with this, whatever directory I create to do an import or an export for all these databases, whenever I try to run the job, it tells me the same error message you saw on SQL. It says,
If it's telling you no such file, it means that no, there is no such file.
yes, but I see the file here.
What file?
I see the directory, this directory DTMP.
Yeah,
Like,
that's a directory. That's not a file.
yeah, it's been the same way with the way they control SQL. It says no
What
such
are you
file.
trying to do? What are you trying to do?
I was trying to do an import. Say for
You are important. To say anyway.
Honestly, I'm not sure what you're trying to do here, but
okay, let's say this is the machine database, right? Let me try to do an import real quick for let's say for any object in there. You see that's the directory object created. I can
Error.
that's the problem
How you
here.
That's
doing?
the app. The app is not right.
This one, the director, this one did not
This is
Not
the
look.
right.
physical directory. It's not the
You
logical
need to put the
directory.
logical
Directory
directory.
object. Before granting, you need to create the logical directory object.
Create or replace. Nope.
Direct, you need to
Directory.
specify it's a directory.
No.
How will your database know that
Go
it's a
back.
directory?
Or replace directory.
thank you. Yeah, I'm sorry I'm taking up the time, but this has
I'm sure, I'm 100% sure that your group members could fix that problem.
It's not our data slash machine, no, sir. Our data slash file. Or am I confused?
I'll put it in machine.
Oh, you
That
put
is
it
just this is just for it's just like an example.
okay.
You see the object is created and if
It's there. The first line.
Okay. It says if it doesn't exist.
Your data and your debts.
That's because it doesn't exist.
The directory name. The directory name.
This was not the name
Can't
you
read
gave
right
to
on directory.
This is not the name
the name you gave to a directory.
And he said there's an error.
Same.
Even if this SQL statement goes through, whatever I try to do on this database, it tells me this object doesn't exist. Regardless, if let's try doing it and it goes through.
First, why are you granting read and write to system? System
No,
already.
it's not that directory. Go back. Okay. No.
It's GATSS.
GATSS. On directory GATSS. SS.
That's not the same. That's the system. You cannot give the system the privilege. The system got privilege.
He can give it, but it's useless. It's pointless. There's no point in doing it because system already has those privileges.
Yeah, that's it.
System has access to every object in the database, even to private database links. So you can directly go ahead and do the export. And you cannot do an import because you don't have
the DOM
file to do the import. So you can only do export here. It wouldn't work like that.
Is it the SQL statement to do the export?
Just the export?
No, exactly. You have to specify the DOM file. I mean, go ahead, continue.
I just try to do it this way since it's quicker.
Really?
Yeah.
It's not quicker because you need to specify the name of the directory. Even that part, the only part you can skip. You can skip system/brontech1. But for everything else, you need to have the name of the directory, the name of the DOM file, the name of the log file, what kind of export is going to be, if it's going to be a schema export or full export. You cannot just come and put like
export.
Just yes, PDF.
Okay, I'm sorry. After this, I'll take it down. But
Okay,
this is a log file.
And log file. Let's see if it's not going to work. Oh, look, it's working.
It's working.
This is this. Honestly, this is
It was human error. You need to look, I mean, in that DBA thing, you have to be very humble and know that, okay, I probably make a mistake somewhere. You go back and check your mistakes. You are human. Like, it happens all the time. You need to be able to go back and know that, okay, what did I do wrong? Even if it takes you 5 hours to figure it out. Don't assume that it's the server that has an issue, because 99% of the time it's not the server, it's you.
Yeah, I admit that, but this same problem.
Yeah, garbage in, garbage out. That's just a simple truth.
Okay, let's go. Okay, you can stop sharing your screen. I'm going to share my screen now.
Okay. I appreciate your help and patience. Thank you, class. I'm sorry about that.
It's okay. Okay, you didn't stop sharing.
Yeah, give me a second, please.
Okay. Oh. Take a break in an hour.
A break?
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to share my screen now, and I'm going to show you what we are going to be doing. Can you guys see my screen? Yes. Okay, so here is the canvas, right? That I was talking about. So you would have your canvas, and it will be personalized with your name. You can see. And when you get your canvas, make sure that when you have your canvas, make sure that you remember your password. Keep it somewhere, right? Don't make it too complicated. Make it an easy thing to remember, because you will use it all the way until project. And this is the first thing you are going to be starting to see today, because we'll do some homework as well. Read it at home, and then we'll come back to it. So let me show you the home page. Okay. For the first chapter is basically database links. Normally, we were not supposed to start database link today, but since people didn't have much question about DB1, so we just started it today with the morning class. But normally, we were supposed to start on Wednesday, but we started today. So we are going to start today with you as well, and we'll finish it on Wednesday. And since you guys don't have your canvas yet, I wanted to give you guys the assignment to submit for it to be due on Wednesday. But since I don't think you will have it today, I don't think so. You probably will have it tomorrow. So the assignment will be due for Friday instead.
Friday?
So
I thought we don't have classes on Friday.
Yes, but it's still due on Friday, because you'll have other assignments to do to be due on Monday. Yes.
Okay.
That one is due on Friday. That one. And if you go on your WhatsApp, in the group, I sent you guys an extra assignment. Not too hard. I advise you guys to do it in group, work in group, because I know it's what you guys saw already, but it's just a little bit more complicated. That's it. Just a little bit complicated. Okay, so basically this is like an overview. On your canvas, you will have like the notes, right? The lesson. For example, for database link, this is the lesson, database link lesson. Of course, you can use any other tool. If you need more information, you can use docs.org. If you need more information, or you can use whatever other tool you want to use, right? Or you can use Oracle. That thing is always annoying. Okay, let me see. Or you can use other tools. I'm showing you because this morning class they asked for other tools. So there is Oracle Base as well. It's really good. Oracle Base. You can just come to 11G and look for whatever you want to look for. Usually they have a lot of very good information. In this, for example, indexes here. It's really detailed. So in DB2, for DB2, I advise you to usually come to a website like this, practice, and you go, you know, explore, just explore Oracle. And you can also use DBA minus Oracle. That's also a good one. I'm sure that many of you already know that one. So DBA minus Oracle.com, Oracle minus base.com, and docs.oracle. I mean, those are my favorite, but you can have other ones as well. Okay. Now, the first lesson would be database link. We'll come back to it later. So this would be the first one. And go back. You will have the assignment. Okay, there are different types of lessons. These are for like just, you can see that it's already on Canvas. That one, it's on Canvas, right? And you have different types that are in PDFs. For example, SQL Fundamental, Lesson 1. As you can see, they're like in PDF, so you can download it and read. Similar to what you guys had in DB1, right? So this is what we'll be doing next, probably starting on Wednesday. Yeah, so those are mainly the two types, PDFs and or it's directly on your Canvas. And you have assignments. This is the first assignment that you guys will have. Create TLS demo or RCL. Okay, this would be the first assignment. And I sent you guys another assignment to complete because we will only meet, I think, it will be due on Friday. So you guys won't have much to do this weekend. So I'm giving you a little bit. And how to submit the assignment, right? For you to submit the assignment, you come here. Or maybe you shouldn't have resubmit because I already submitted that one. What you want to do is that you come here. You come here. You can copy and paste something, right? And you can just submit. You can just submit it like that, right? It's submitted. And if you want to add, let's say, a file, right? You can come here. It's not here. Do I have ORCL that shell? Okay, this is a file that when I submitted. So when I submitted, I directly had okay, when you want to submit, right, you come here. If you want to, let's say, attach a file. Let me see. You will browse and let's say, what do I want to? Let me just use that, right? And you submit it just like that. So I don't know if you guys are following, but this is basically how you would submit. So here I submitted 2. So if you want to attach more than one files, right? More than one file, you just attach a file, as many files as you want, and you submit.
Okay.
Yeah, so make sure they are not as, don't submit too many, try to make them as, not as many as yeah, not too many files either. You shouldn't have too many files submitted. And yes, now you might wonder, how do I do this? We'll do that. Okay, so this will be your first assignment. So are we good for that? So this is will basically be DB2. You'll have first database links. We'll talk about it. DB2 is a lot like DB1. It's just like, actually it's like DB1. It's just that it's more detailed, right? We go more into details. Here it's SQL fundamentals, the SQL statement that you guys have been using already. It's just more depth. The third one would be SQL fundamental lesson 3, SQL fundamental lesson 4, user managed backups. You guys saw already backups, but here you will be able to really do user managed hard backup. I know that we've been doing Arman backups and code backups, but we didn't do hard user managed backups. So we'll be doing that. And we've not been doing incremental backups either, or cumulative. And Arman intro recovery catalog. You guys remember in DB1, when we're using Arman, control files were being used instead of a recovery catalog. So we'll be using that. And configuring backup settings. You guys remember in DB1, we use Enterprise Manager to set up the backups, but we won't be using Enterprise Manager. We'll be using other ways to configure backup for a specific time, right, for it to run, but without Enterprise Manager. Next, it will be switch to copy. We'll come to it later. Also, we'll be doing Arman duplication. That's like a clone, but using Arman. There's active duplication. Okay, there are different types of, anyway, we'll go over it later. Now it's transportable table space. It's we'll be using data pump to do transportable table space. So it's like we already saw import, export, data pump, but this one would be more specific and a faster way to do it. And flashback database, we talked about flashback, right? Flashback table in DB1, flashback database. So we'll be doing that as well. Arman backup strategies. Yeah, we'll be talking about the different strategies for Arman backups. How or when to opt for one over the other, or when to opt for incremental over cumulative and stuff like that. We'll be using cron tab to schedule whatever work you want to. In this case, it would be for backups. Here it would be transparent data encryption. I think we talked about that in DB1 as well. Data pump. Yeah, this we already, okay. So this is basically what we'll be doing. Performance tuning, this is mostly for project. But everything before that, this is what we'll be doing. Performance tuning, even that is what we did, you guys saw in chapter 12 and 13 in DB1, right? Almost. So this is basically it for project. Doesn't seem hard, right? So any question on the canvas, the whole canvas structure in general? No, we good? We good?
I see over there on the discussions. Is there going to be any like discussions?
What do you mean? Yeah, the discussion should mainly be in your groups. That's what I'm telling you guys. I don't care if you don't get along with your classmates. Try to get along or find another group, because it's going to help you a lot. There are things that one person might figure out that the other one might also figure out something else, and the other one might figure out something different. And when you come together, it's always better. So for DB2, I would advise you guys to work together, to really work in your groups. It will be very helpful. And everybody should be Google's friend. And you should also read your notes and try to understand it. I'm going to go over things very quickly. And I'm not going to be spending too much time fixing people's issues like in DB1, because in DB2, it's like, it's not new to you anymore. You're not like, oh, what is this Oracle thing? You already know about it. You know a lot already. You understand a lot already. So there are many things that you can do on your own, right? You don't need to be, you don't need someone to be there behind you to help you to show you or do this, do that, basically. So with DB2, it allows you to really do things on your own. But of course, we'll be going some things, of course, together.
Hello, Emerald.
Yes, hello.
Yeah, I have a question for you. When I look at the flyers that went out, I saw something there on Postgres, SQL Server, AWS. I don't know if I didn't see that in the workload that you just presented. And then,
yeah, you're DB2, you're not in project.
oh, okay. So all those will be handled in project.
Yes.
And then secondly,
actually, it's after project. It's part of project, but it's, yeah.
Then secondly, I noticed you're already giving a rundown of how the DB2 is going to be, how it's going to look like. I just have a proposal, my observation from DB1 that I want you to look into. I noticed that in DB1, towards the end, there was kind of, you were really changing the time for the classes. You could just come and start at 4, at 5, and things like that, and then go with the flow for those who will be there. I just want us, if we know that our class is at 6, if there needs to be a change, you need to really announce it before time and then take the temperature and know if people will be there, because I mean, some people are still working and things like that, and so it was really causing issues. The classes were just coming at any time. You just come in and talk to a couple of people and they say, okay, they're available. The next day they set the class, and then at the end, just keep rushing behind. So
right, it's a
That's a good point.
That's a very striking point.
Organizing behind that.
The classes we were having starting at 4 were on Sunday, and the last week, I believe they were like on the day when you guys didn't have class. So they were not mandatory. So you didn't have to be there. And people were supposed to take videos. And you were supposed to have group mates that would be there, at least one of your group that would be there and that would be able to transfer the information to you or what they learn. That's the whole point of having a group, and that's the whole point of taking videos, right?
Silence.
Yes, no, no, yes.
So yes, no, no, yes.
Comprendre?
To comprendre.
African words, comprendre?
Yes, no.
Like, for example, for myself, right, there are days where I come late to class or something happens, but I make sure that I catch up. Either I watch the video or I catch up with my group mates, right? So it's your responsibility, you know. We won't stop working because of your work schedule, right? Some people are available. Some people are making the sacrifices too to be there. So it's not really fair. So, but for DB2, we will be starting at 6 and finishing it at 10. I mean, I don't think at 10, I'm at like 9:30, 9:40, 9:50. Before 10, more than likely.
So Emerald.
Yes.
So we're still gonna be doing the online classes?
Of course. Is Corona gone?
Oh Lord.
Maybe in their area there's no Corona.
Because I checked yesterday, it's 80K dead people, okay? And
America itself is having almost 1/3 of the total number of cases in the world.
Exactly, 1/3 of the people so far are dead.
But they have already starting open the economy, right?
That's them now, Ababa. Open the economy, the Corona is still out there. They have opened the economy, but the Corona is out.
No, not nang me. I ask me my question.
Not try that.
Even in Montgomery County,
I didn't pay for online though.
Bello,
You can go to school now.
You
The
can
school
go
is
to
open.
school if you want.
You can go to school.
Bello, take your Corona and stay with it in your house.
We have at least like 2 months more at home, online.
If we can open the school, then we'll go back to school. But for now, I don't think it's safe to go back.
No, it's not safe at all.
I was just being curious though.
Yo, you're looking for people to give your corona to them, Bello.
You get corona for me.
And I'm sure you don't want that corona, trust me.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
that.
not at all.
Now let's continue.
Okay, so any question on how to submit the assignment? I told you guys, right?
Emerald.
Yes.
All right, I want to ask something.
Sure.
Like as we are starting the DB2 right now, so for example, with the assignments you're giving now, right?
Yes.
Me, I believe we are just starting. So if you say you're giving on assignments, is it like we are going to do our personal research for the assignments you are issuing to us
We'll be
now?
going over together, and then you guys will be doing it. Actually, the morning class said that they didn't want me to show them the practical, so they can just go and figure it out on their own. So I'm like, okay, good. But they didn't know what I was going to bring. I
Are
just
you
sent
sure
them
it's not a repeater? Are you sure it's not a repeater who was saying
what?
Are you sure it's not somebody who has been in Bronte for maybe 2 or 3 times who was saying that?
Because for real, they are there.
She came back to class. After, but we will go over some things, and I know that you guys are advanced, so I'm going to give you things that are harder than what you have here, because that assignment here is easy. I know it's very easy for many of you. Like this, I'm going to show you. It's very easy. It's this one. This is the first one. It's very easy. That's why I sent you guys the second one. Prerequisite, you should have created this database. So you can delete, you can drop your database that you're not using. So we have TLS-DMO. You have to create TLS-DMO, right? You can create it manually if you want. You can use DBCA if you want, but make sure that none of them have Enterprise Manager. You won't be connected to it. You won't be using Enterprise Manager in DB2.
Oh, that's why you said like the backup and everything we're doing. That's why you say we're going to be doing it now.
Yeah, manually.
Okay.
We'll be running scheduling backups manually without Enterprise Manager. Okay, so you'll be creating TLS-DMO and then ORCL, right? And then you see this is the assignment. Select all from log into TLS-DMO. It's even step by step. It's very gentle. Log into TLS-DMO. Here it says that create a database link such that I'm able to log to TLS-DMO and view the HR schema in ORCL, right? Make sure that the HR user password in the ORCL database is set to HR. So this is just to help you, like, to make sure that you know that the password should be compatible with the password that you use for the fixed user in the definition for the DB link, right? So it's basically helping you, and it even gives you the comment after user HR identified by HR. Yeesh. And then please verify that the link works, right?
I'm gonna say yes.
Right? It's really, like, I know that for you guys, this is really easy.
I'll pick this in my left hand.
This is what?
I said I will pick it with my left hand.
Oh. I know that for you guys, this is really easy. So that's why I gave you guys the extra 7 questions. So log into TLS-DMO, select all from HR.region at the DB link name, right? Verify if the output is 107 rows selected, and then select all from HR.region at the DB link, right? That's it. Let me see if I have let me see if I have it here. Okay. Now this is a little extra assignment. On top of that, right? These are the 4 questions. Create a private database link. Okay, I forgot link. Okay, whatever. Create a private database link. I put it in the wrong place. Okay. But you guys know that it's a private database link. Okay. create a private database link owned by Benson to have access to all the tables in ORCL, right? So you want to create a private, not a public, right? And here, you want to create a public database link to have access to HR schema only in ORCL, right? Using one of the DB link. So you need to know which database link you should use, right? To be able to add a fourth column name called name COO to score that department. So you should know what you should do for that one. And in this one, using one of the database link created, insert into score that department 2 additional rows, right? Using database link, lock the table in exclusive mode. So you will use the DB link to lock a table in another database, right? Now create a private database link again. Okay, I need to delete those files that I sent. Database link as OE to access ORCL without specifying a fixed user credentials. Add a new promotion to the promotion table. And then last, define public database link, private database link, and global database link. I know that this is your level, so you guys should handle it, right?
Hello. Left hand again?
Huh?
Excuse.
You handle that one with left hand?
No, the one I'll take with my right hand, bro.
So we good, right?
I'm not quite sure, man. Are we gonna do it, or is that?
Give us like a little clue on
I
how.
won't give you any clue until I won't give you guys any clue until you come back and you show that you actually worked on it.
That's why I asked the first question, like the question you're giving now, to get it like you can do online research and everything, then we together with the group, right? So it's
exactly
more,
that's the whole point.
Like a group work or personal or assignment.
Excuse me?
I'm asking, you said we should like discuss it with the group. So I'm asking, so at the end of the day, we're gonna be submitting it individually, right?
Yes. Yeah, it's individually. It's not by group. Each person submit, each student. And the student that who won't be submitting, I'll report it to Prof, of course.
Of course.
All the students who pass, I have the student number here. Let me see if I won't show you the student.
So if I got to clear, it means there are people here now in this class who have not yet passed.
Let me see, passed. I don't know where I put it. Okay, student who passed. Student who passed, you see here? All the students who passed here.
So
right?
there are some people who have not passed. I thought everyone already made it.
I think 79 passed. Are you guys 79 morning and evening combined? I don't think so.
But I guess everyone is already in DB2 because I don't think I have any friend or anyone I know who is still like DB1 now.
Who didn't? Okay. I know that 78 passed. 78 passed. But I know that you guys are more than 78. That's what I'm saying.
Emma, some people have not submitted theirs.
Yet? And when are they going to submit?
The White House.
I'm still working on it.
It's good there.
Waiting for Corona to take it to the White House.
They should submit. They should submit it. They should submit. Okay, so let's start with DB link. I'm gonna need a user, a student, another student.
Nope.
Close this.
So Emma, are you gonna be interpreting error messages like if I get stuck? Is it okay if I send you a message?
No, you should figure it out. I need a student, a good student that has a good database that's not crashed or anything.
Student
Anyone?
174. Student 174.
Okay, good. You have a bunch of database link in your one. Student 174, I know you passed.
Amen.
And you shall continue, amen?
Amen.
Okay, so, okay, what's happening? Okay. So there are different types of database links, right? So let's start. To support application access to the data and schema objects throughout a distributed database system, you must create all necessary database links. Use share links only when many users need to use the same link. Typically, shared links are used for public database links, but can also be used for private database links when many clients access the same local schema and therefore the same private database links. So you can have shared database links, public database link, like multiple users are using the same database link to have access, or you can have multiple users having access to the same schema, right? The same schema, right, that has a private database link to have access to objects in a remote database. Are we good? So we've seen that. Create a database link, connect to identified by, right? So we can just skip. Okay, obtaining privileges necessary for creating database link. So for you to create a database link, you need to have the privilege. In DB1, we've been creating database link as system, right? But we'll be creating database link as different users, not only as system, but as specific users. And it's the same for data pump. For you to be able to create a database link, the user needs to be able to have the privilege, right? Needs to be able to have the privilege to be able to create a database link. And when the privilege is create a database link, that's for a private database link. And when the privilege is create public database link, that's for public database link, right? And when it's create session from a remote database, that's for both. It allows you to create both private database link or public database link. Are we good? Are we
No.
good?
No. Can you go over that again, please?
Okay. What I'm saying is, in DB1, right, we have been creating database links as system, right? Right?
Yes.
Or as this. So we never granted the create database link to any user because we were just doing it as system, and system already had all the privileges and have access to all the objects. Actually, I shouldn't even say that. I should ask you. Okay, let's go. Let's do it. Let's do it together. Okay, give me two of your database that you want me to use for that.
Okay.
Which exam did you do?
I did the
Emissions, cities.
music.
Oh, music,
Yeah.
sound and tones. Okay. Yeah. So I would use music and tones, right?
Yeah.
Those were the two last ones. Okay. So let me connect to tones. I hope it's not crashed.
No, I always shut down my database.
Okay, that's good. I mean, that's okay. If you don't need them, that's good. Database mounted, database open. Excuse me. Okay, the database is open. Now, let's pick one user. Is it Koji's database?
Yes.
Server? Okay, so let's create your user. Create user Koji identified. Right. Koji. Okay, now what we want to do is grant create database link, right?
Yeah.
We see here that create database link is required for creating a private database link, right? A private database link it's a database link that only the user Koji would have access to, right? Only the user that creates the database link would have access to it, be able to use it, right? So you have Scott in the other database. Okay, before that, let's grant create database. My bad. Create database link to Koji. And of course, you need to grant resource. And connect to Koji. Okay, so we're good. From here, you want to connect. Okay, before that, we need to check the schema object that you have. The sample, if you have your simple schemas. I've noticed that many people didn't have their simple schemas. Let's say if you have HR. Okay, you got HR, that's good. Let's specify the password. After user HR, identify that HR.
Account unlocked.
Okay, so we know that HR's password is HR. So let's connect back to Tones, right? Okay, now you want to create the database link, right? Create database link, link 1. We'll be creating multiple ones. So link 1, we want
you create the link as a user.
Excuse me?
I thought you were going to create the link as the user.
Right, I need to connect, you're right. I need to connect to Koji. I thought I was connected. Connect to Koji, identified by Koji. Okay, now as Koji, I'm going to try to create a private database link. So create database link, link 1. We're going to connect to HR, identified by HR, using tone, music. Okay, now I hope your TNS names are working fine. They are?
Yes,
it's easy to check. TNS ping, music. Okay. TNS ping, tones. Okay, good. It's working. Okay, now let's connect back as Koji. And select all from HR that employees at link 1. Okay, so this is the one, what we've been doing in DB1 basically, except that you didn't know they were database links. They were private database links. So this is as Koji, right?
Right.
And we use the link, this is a private, so only Koji has access to that, can use that database link. Let's connect a system. And I'm going to show you something. System has access to the database link. So we're clear. System has access to any object, whether it's private or public. System has access. Let me show you guys. This is connected as system, right? Let's do select all from HR. What's happening? Connection. What's happening? Now that's odd. We did it this morning. Or was it assist? Let me see. I wasn't connected as assist. Let me see assist DBA. That's very strange. Okay, let me see. System doesn't have access to it. That's very, very strange. Okay, that's good. So private database link, only that user has it. The thing is, we did it this morning, and our system was able to have access, but here system doesn't have access to it. I'm not sure why. Normally, only system should, the other user shouldn't have it. So maybe the user actually was allowed to, maybe that system user was allowed to use it. Because normally no other user is supposed to except for the user that created the database link. Anyway, let's do something else. You guys can see that it's private, right? And because it's private, the other users cannot have access to it. I wanted to create another user. Let me create another user so that we can see, not from sys or system. Let's create another user. Let's create a user. Paul. Okay. Identified by Paul, right? And let's grant DBA. Let's grant DBA to Paul. Let's grant DBA to Paul. Okay, we just granted DBA to Paul. Now let's connect as Paul. You know that with the DBA privilege, all the other ones are already granted. But you can see that Paul doesn't have access. Why doesn't it have access? Paul doesn't have access because it's a private database link. We good? So a private database, only the user creating it has access, right? Now, another thing is now we want to create a public database link. We've never created a public database link before, right? So who's that for? Okay, let me connect as system.
Please, I have a question.
Or
I did not understand why the system didn't work. When you connect a system, why it didn't work?
That's very odd. I don't know, because this morning we did a system, it worked as system, but the user with DBA privilege didn't go through. So my guess would be that that system probably had a privilege to see that link. I'm not sure how that happened, but I'll have to go back and see what happened, because it should be the same thing. And when I checked this, normally I knew that system wasn't supposed to, but this morning I saw that, oh, system was actually able to, so that was like confusing. And now I'm seeing that system doesn't have access to it either. So what's happening? This is interesting, right? This is the whole point of DB2, figuring things out.
Right.
Okay, so now we are connected back as system. Okay, let's connect back as Koji. Let's connect as Koji. And from here, what we want to do is that we want to create a public database link. Do you guys think that we will be able to create a public database link for Koji? Do you guys think? I'm going to let you read, or maybe you can read. So I'm going to let you guys read.
You have to grant him that first, right?
Don't be shy. I can hear you.
You have to grant him that privilege to create it public.
Exactly, exactly. We didn't grant public database link to Koji. So if I try to create public database link to connect to HR, identified by HR, using music. You see, insufficient privilege. So for you to create a DB link, a public database link, you need to make sure that the user has the necessary privileges, right? So let me connect back our system.
But I'm sure Paul will be able to create it, right?
Yes, right. Why?
Because
Paul has been granted DBA.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, Paul should be able to. You're right. We can check it. We check it later, but let's do it as Koji. So let's grant. You see, you guys are smart. I know you guys can handle it. So grant create public database link 2, connect to HR, identified by HR using music. Yeah. Identity grant. Oh, what am I doing? I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I'm supposed to grant a privilege, not create it.
Granting and
Grant privilege to Koji. Grant create public database link. I forgot link to Koji. Okay, grant succeeded, right? Now let's. You thought it was what? A shortcut? No, come on. You grant and you create it at the same time? Well, maybe, but I don't know about it. Okay. Okay, now that we are connected as Koji, let's create the public database name. Okay, database link created, right? Yep. Now, Koji has access to it, right? Now, let's select all like takes too much space. Let's just describe HR.employee at link 2, right? Yep. Describe. So this is as Koji. So this is normal, right? Mm-hmm. Now let's connect as Paul. Do you think Paul will be able to use it?
I doubt it.
Let's try.
Yes, it's a public.
But since that the first one didn't work,
but the first one was private.
So everyone has access to it.
So do you think Paul can view it, can use it? This is public.
Yes.
Yes, Paul can. And you might think that, oh, it's because Paul has DBA privilege, right? You might be thinking that, oh, it's because he has DBA privilege, right?
Right.
Let's create a user that doesn't have DBA privilege. Let's connect that as
Where the user backup?
create user what?
Backup.
Backup.
Yeah.
Okay. What does that mean? Identified by backup. Okay. We need to at least. I'm only going to grant.
Resource.
Just connect.
Yeah.
Just connect to backup so that it's really minimal. Okay. Now let me connect backup as backup. Okay. Now, you think that Baka will be able to use it?
Yes.
Who says yes? Who says no?
Yes.
I said yes. It's public.
Yes.
Right. Baka does only has connect. Baka basically can do much, but Baka is able to have access to that DB link because it's public, right?
Yes.
It doesn't specify it here, but yeah. Public means that whoever creates the link allows every other user. This morning I took the example, for example, you guys had an evening class. So let's say Anita.
Excuse me, Emerald.
Yes.
I have a question. With this database link, is it connected only to a particular schema, or you can grant a database link to the whole database? Because right now they're querying just the HR schema, probably because it was granted for that. Can we grant it for the whole database? Like this user should be able to query.
We are getting there. We are getting there step by step.
Okay.
We are getting there. For that one, we had access to the HR schema specifically, only HR, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So we only have access to the objects that are owned by HR. We don't have access to any objects that are not owned by HR, right?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
DB link, right? For example, okay, let me take like baby example. Let's say Anita, she created a private database link to have access to the morning class, to the information people have in the morning class, or to one student in the morning class, let's say to Daniel in the morning class, right? So she creates a database link for her to have access to everything that Daniel's computer, everything that he has, right?
Right.
But none of you has access to it. If, for example, Natalie tries to have access to what Daniel's own, she won't be able to have access to it, right? If any other student in database, you guys have databases, users, I'm sorry, and the class 26 evening is the database. So any of you guys that would try to have access to that other user, you wouldn't be able to, right? Now, if it's a public database link, right, and that she creates, that Anita creates, any other student would have access to the object that belongs to Daniel in the morning class, right? Now, that is only if Daniel only has access to his own object. Let's say Daniel is the class leader. He has DBA privilege on the whole database, morning class database, right? So he has access to Nadine's schema, to everybody else, right? Objects. So if Anita creates a public database link to have access to that user, right, to that schema in the morning class that has access to all the other objects in the database, right? Any of you guys, any of the students in the morning class, in the evening class, will have access to every tables, every student in the morning class. Does it make sense? Does it make sense?
Please say it again, Emma. I didn't understand, please.
Did anyone understand? If it didn't make sense, let's just move on to something else. Because I feel like it was an easy example when I
No, just take it again, please.
Okay. What I'm saying is, let's say Anita again, right? She creates a private database link, The database here is class 26 evening, right? We have two databases. We have class evening 26, we have class morning 26, right?
Right.
So you have one user in class 26 evening that is Anita, right? And she wants to have access to the objects that are owned by Daniel in the morning class.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So what Anita would create a database link to have access to Daniel's objects, to his computer, to his notes, or to his videos or whatever, and she will be able to have access to it. But none of you guys, because it's a private database link that she created, connected as herself, none of you, Natalie, Fali, Arman, Murray, nobody will be able to have access to those objects owned by Daniel.
Because
right?
it's private.
Because it's private. It's just between her and him. It's private, nobody else, right? But now, second case scenario, she makes it public, right? If she makes it public, everybody, all of you, right? Natalie, Patrick, Fali, everybody would be able to have access to the objects owned by
Daniel.
Right?
Right.
Everybody. So he would be invasion of privacy. No, joking, but you see what I mean. So everybody would be able to have access to his
$1,000.
And there is a third case
But
scenario.
no, so woman be the ask, and see, if let's say be the person.
Can you mute yourself, please?
It's okay.
She's one person.
This is DB2. Huh.
Yeah. It's okay. I think she's muted. Now, the third case scenario, right? Is if, for example, Daniel, let's say he's the class leader, so he has access, he has a DBA privilege, right? So he has access to every object of every other student in the morning class, right?
Right.
So he has DBA privileges. Now, what will happen is that the database, the public database link that Anita created for all the class, right? For all of you guys to be able to see it, you guys will be able to have access to any table in the morning class, because that user, Daniel, has the DBA privilege. Does it make sense?
Right.
So for you to be able to have access to every single object, that user needs to have the privileges to be able to view any table or select any table or update any table. If the user doesn't, then you wouldn't be able to. For example, we can use that link for HR employees that you can see on the screen, right?
Right.
But you cannot use it for any table that doesn't belong to HR. You cannot use it for Scott that employed. You cannot, because HR doesn't have access to Scott objects. Are you agree? So, like he was asking, I was getting there, but like what he was asking, for you to be able to have access to all the tables and all the objects in another database using a database link, it's if the user you're connecting to has the DBA privilege or has update any table, create any table, select any table type of privilege. See?
Okay.
Right.
Well, Emma, does it apply the same to locking the table?
Exactly. I saw that someone read the questions. That's good. Yes.
So
If you have access to that table, it means you can lock it, right?
So quick question for you, Emma.
Sure.
Are we gonna, like, if Koji wanna make the private database link he created public, are we gonna run a SQL or how?
If what?
I'm saying if the user Koji wanna make the database link he created, the private one he created, if you want to make it public.
Are you asking me if you can change a database link from,
yes,
if you can alter?
Yes.
I'm not sure you can do that. I think you have to drop and create a public one.
Oh. Okay.
I mean, I've not seen it. You can look it up, the whole point. I don't know everything. You might look it up if you can alter from private to public. But I don't think so, and I've never seen it. But it might be possible. But I don't think so. Honestly, I don't think so.
Am I right? I have a
Yes.
question about this table that we're viewing. You see where it says job ID, it says number, then you have 8,2. What kind of number can you insert right there? And then they have another one, 2 and 2.
Excuse me.
Job ID is VACA, right? I'm not seeing one.
No, it just says numbers. Then in bracket it says 8,2.
I think you mean manager ID and commission PCT.
Yeah. Not job ID.
So I mean salary and commission.
I think it's salary, yeah. Salary, yeah, it's salary and commission, sorry.
Please make it that noisy. Amara, please make me the host.
You want to be the host? Okay.
I will drop users.
Wait, so Emerald, you can have more than one link, right?
I think it's decimal. Excuse me?
You can create more than one link, right? Like, for instance, what he was saying before, he can have like the private and then he can also have the public.
Okay, you're the host now.
Okay.
Okay, one moment. Someone was asking a question about VACA 2.
Yeah, 82 or 22.
Varchar 22. Where do you see that?
No, the one below.
Oh, numbers
Yeah.
82.
What kind of numbers can you insert?
Oh, this one, that part is for decimal.
Oh, decimal.
You see like 10.2, right? 10.25, and the maximum is 8. For example, from 1 to 99999, 8 times, right? Yes, and 2 is after the comma, after the period in English. Two numbers.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
So the max value would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.99. You see?
Okay.
Okay, so someone else was saying something. What was it?
Oh, no, I was just asking, so you can create more than one link, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
But there is a limit of the number of database link to be created for each user. There is a limit. Or the number of database that can be open at the same time. It's a parameter that is set. So that difference.
Okay, I have another weird question too. So when you create a user and you unlock the user, right? Is that like, are you unlocking for ever, or you're just unlocking for that session?
No, it's for a time, right? After sometimes, if for a while the user hasn't been used, it will the account would be locked automatically.
Okay.
Yes, it's after a period of time. It's not specified. You don't know how it would just lock. Okay.
So when you're doing the create session, right? When you're creating the link, you will have to specify what type of link you want, right? Or it's just not going to be like create session to get a link from another database. So because I know create session allows you to create a public or private database link to another database. So the SQL statement for that, would that be like create either database link or public database, or will it just be create session?
That's actually good. I will add it to the assignment. I'll add it as question 8.
Oh my God, you're adding a question.
Excuse me?
That was a question for you.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I'm going to add it to the assignment as question 8.
Okay.
I'm going to take create session on the remote database.
Okay, I have one quick question.
Yes.
So when you're because the examiner saw it's like just create a database link. So I want to ask, like, if you say create database link and the database link name, is it gonna be private or is it gonna be public? Like if you don't specify it.
Private.
What do you mean? I can't hear you. I didn't get it. Can you say it again, please?
Okay, I'm saying like if you connect as a user to create a database link and you don't specify it for it to be public or private. So how is it gonna be?
If you don't specify it,
yes.
Okay. Private. It would be private because if it's only create a database link, it would be private. Right?
Oh, yeah.
If it's not specified, it's private. If it's specified, it's public. Actually, you cannot issue create private database link. I thought you could, but you can't. You can put create private database link.
Oh yeah? Okay.
And on the remote database, it's create session, right? it would allow you to create private or public database. So this would be, we'll come, actually, it's not the only thing we'll come back to on Wednesday, so that you guys can see if you guys did some research. So I'm going to add this as question 8. I'm going to add it in the notes for the assignment.
So I have a question. I just want a clue. So for the create session, right, you have to grant 2 privileges?
You have to grant?
Two different privileges, or is just going to be create session?
No, it's one privilege, right? It's when you grant it, it allows you to create both types of database link.
Okay.
Right? Yes.
Excuse me, Emma.
Yes.
I see you're connected now on brontechacademy.com where you log in here, right?
Mm-hmm.
When we are going to be using this ad, like, are you connected to the VPN?
No, you can just use Google for that. You just need internet, right? And Prof would send you guys the email for you guys to be able to connect your Canvas. So next week, I mean on Wednesday, we'll come back to it. So I won't go over it too much. So we might even finish early because you guys won't have it. It won't be due for on Wednesday. So there's not really a point. But I'll just send you guys the thing so that you can come back to it and discuss in your group what you found. For example, you see create session, right? Let me do something here. There is a user with DBA privilege. Let me see. Which one is it? Is it Paul with DBA privilege?
Yes.
I think Paul has a DBA privilege. Let's connect as Paul. Okay. Now, what I want to do is check what are the privileges he has, right? So select. No. Let me describe role underscore sys underscore previews. Okay. Select privilege and role role underscore sys underscore previews where privilege in I wanted to specify, let's just do it. So that you can see create session, create database link, and create public database link. So here are all the privileges that the user has, the user pool has. We only granted that user, no, I'm going to take out create session. I'm only going to use create database link. Create public database link, create database link, create database link, create public database link. So that user, by default, I mean, because he has the DBA privilege, that user already has create session because of the DBA role, right? and create a database link because of the DB error, and create public database link because of the DB error, and that user also have create public database link because of the import full database role, and because of the import and export full database.
Emma, please, I have a question.
Sure.
Okay, so that SQL statement that you put right there, you didn't specify the user. Is it because you are connected as Paul?
Yes, I'm connected as Paul already, so I know
So
that.
it's only giving you the information for Paul.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's only for Paul. I'm connected as Paul.
So when you're created as a user, you don't need to put like where user equals blah, blah, blah.
Right. It will give you only for the specific user.
Okay.
Okay, I think we're going to take a break for 30 minutes, right? And we come back in 30 minutes. Is it good?
DBA is good. DB2 is good.
What do you mean it's good? The morning class said that they had 30 minutes break. So if it was me, I would just give you 5. I'm joking. So 30 minutes. Let's meet in 30 minutes and we'll finish. So you guys would you guys can start doing it if you get it, so that on Wednesday we'll be able to discuss it later. Okay. Okay, let's continue from where we stopped. Okay, let me share my screen. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. So, okay, we went over it. We went over the fact that you need a database link. You need a public database link. You need those privileges, and of course, you need create session. Otherwise, how will you have access to the objects in the remote database, right? And yeah, that's good. Okay, so we just created the database links, but I feel like there's something that we didn't do. I just explained it, so let's try to do it. For example, for the public one, right? So he has 2 databases. He has music and he has tone. Let me check the name. Okay, tones. Let's create. Okay, I want to create a data. We want to create a database link in the other database for the user to have access to all objects in the other database, right? So let's connect to music, and let's create a user that has access to all objects, right? So create a user Tom, identified by Tom. Now let's grant DBA to Tom. Okay. Okay, now we connect back to Tom's. Okay. we want Koji to create that database link again. Okay, we are going to create another database link. Let's say link 3, I believe. We are going to connect to Tom. Identified by Tom using music. Okay. Okay, Tom doesn't have any table that belongs to him, right?
Right.
Do you think that if I select all from HR employees at link 3, it will work? Anyone has a say? Do you think it will work? We know that Tom doesn't have any table. We just created Tom and we just granted the privileges, the role DBA to Tom. So Tom doesn't have any table.
Yes. So you want to view HR?
Yes.
It should work.
It should work.
Okay. Why?
Wait, hold on.
Because Tom has a privilege to view HR.
No, you have to grant session. Oh no.
We granted DBA already.
No. Okay. Yes, it will work.
Okay. Oh, and we do the next one where we don't even grant create session. You'll see that it would fail. Let's see. So we want to see if select all from HR that employees at link 3 would work. You see, it worked, right? Because as we explained earlier, as long as the other user has the DBA privilege, right? As long as the user has access to other objects in the database, the DB link would also give you access to those objects, even though the user, okay, it's time for me to show you guys how to scroll, right? Even though that user didn't have the privileges, okay, it's going all the way up, okay. So as long as the user has the right privileges, you're good. If the user doesn't have the privileges or doesn't have the right to have access to those objects, you wouldn't be able to have access to those objects using a DB link, right?
Can we use a different schema?
Sure.
HR.
Sure. You want to use Scott?
Sure.
Okay, let's use another one because, yeah. Let's use select OE that promotions. It's in your notes. I mean, it's part of assignment. I think click 3, right? I forgot from select or from OE promotion. You see, it went through. Whatever schema you use, it's all the objects in the database. What else do we have? What else do you have, Koji, in your music database? You should know.
I've forgotten.
Really?
Yeah, it's almost
the exam
over.
wasn't that long ago. You already forgot the table.
Well, the problem was, I created a user musician and I created a table in it, but the next question was I should drop the user.
No, you didn't drop the table in music. You dropped the table in tones.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But here we are in tones, and you want to have access to music. So
yes.
The table should still be in music. So what is it?
It should. It's musician.
Musician. What's the name?
No, the table is Let me go through the question. 1 second.
I think I should have X and G. That it's X and G. Musician that radio, right?
Yeah, radio.
Forgot. Yeah, you dropped it. Yes, it's at link 3. Right. You see, you really passed it well. Proud of you.
Thank you.
Cannot be read at this time. Data file music users preceding 2 lines from. What happened?
I forgot it.
I was trying to do something, right? So I dropped this user 01.dbf. So I was trying to see.
No, it must be offline. It must be offline because it cannot be read at this time, meaning it's offline.
I doubt it though. I'm sure I dropped it.
You dropped it?
Yeah. And I didn't recover it.
So it would have said table doesn't exist. Why is it saying cannot read at this time?
Okay, can you take it offline? If that be the case.
Okay, we're not supposed to work on that, but okay, let's figure out what's happening there anyway. It seems like it has to do with your data file 4, your data file 4. It's users. That's the one. Need to check the status. Did you drop it? Did you drop something? It looks like you dropped something.
Yeah, I did.
What did you drop?
I told you already. I dropped the user 01.
You drop user 01 table space?
Mm-hmm. I didn't drop it. I manually deleted it.
Physically?
Yeah, physically.
That's why.
Yeah.
Jesus. You know that was the default table space for musician. Anyway, you'll fix that. You don't worry about it.
Yeah.
You know how to fix it, right? We were not on that.
And I was trying to see if I drop a table, I'll be able to back it up. So that's why. To recover.
Do you have a backup of users? I think you did a Arman backup of users, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you should recover using Arman. You sure you'll recover it using Arman. You need to do it as music. I hope you do have a backup. Music.
So Emerald, I have a question.
Sure.
So in this case, right, since we're trying to read from Paul, right, in the other database, all these schemas that we're trying to read, we don't have to unlock them?
No. Oh, if they are not locked, if they are locked, you should be able to view it. But if they are not locked, you need to unlock them.
Okay,
if you know
so
that
Paul will have to unlock them.
Paul?
Can you so you can create the link and then unlock it with the link? No.
No, you cannot only lock the table.
Because I noticed, like, right now, you're not, like, the previous Scott, you didn't unlock it. Is it because he was already unlocked?
Yes, it was already unlocked for Scott, right? Yeah.
Okay, but normally we'll have to, like, connect to the other database and unlock it before you can create the...
Right,
right. Okay.
Exactly. Okay. Any DDL? You cannot do DDL for using DB links. You can only use DMLs. Yeah, and you can also use lock.
Wait,
right?
come again, please.
I say that you cannot use DDLs and use the DB link along with it. You can only use DMLs. Yeah.
Okay.
So you can delete, insert, update, but you cannot create drop. Right?
Yeah.
So here you see that it's offline. Your users is offline. So that's basically your problem. You put it offline. Which is a good step to recover though. The only way for you to repair it would be manually. No automatic repair. Anyway, we are not on that. We work on it later another day. I'm sure you can do it with your group. Okay, let's see. Let's do turns. Okay, another type of database link that I think we are good for public and private, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Specifying database. You can see that here you have different types. Here you have, this is for older version like 10G for global name. You can see that, for example, here, when we select all from global underscore name, you can see that you have tones, right? Yeah. But for example, for 10G, let me use mine. This is my server. Okay, I'm not sure how I'm connected here. Okay, let me connect to 10G. I'm gonna just to show you, to give you guys an idea. You guys can see that it's different, right? From one version to the other. Here in 11, this is 10G. You can see like release 10G, and this one is 11G. You see that 11G, you just have the global name, but here you have your global name and the domain service name. So pro.regress.rdbms.dev.us.oracle.com, right? But for that one, you just have the global name, which will be the same as the service name, right?
Yeah.
So when you will come here, don't worry about it. This is mainly for older version like 10G and yeah. And create public database link, connect to current user. Well, that one too is also for, we'll come back to it on Wednesday, but that one too is for specific users with advanced security measures. So that when you just use create user, connect to current underscore user, it would directly, the user would directly be identified and you'll be able to have access to the user and the password. And that one, create public database link. Again, you see how this is the old way of doing it. Connect to Jane identify by those. You see like really similar to what we did. Mm-hmm. And then create global database link. Now, global database link, you define the global database link in the Oracle name server. The Oracle name server has been deprecated. Now you can use a directory server in which database is identified by net service name. In this document, these are referred as global database link. So global database link, basically it allows like a database administrator to manage multiple database links, right? From a directory connected to your Oracle Net services, so that multiple users from multiple database can use different database links to have access to different database, right? Mm-hmm. We'll work on that. We'll try to practice that, just one, because it's not really the focus, but at least so that you will at least know or have an idea. We'll do work on that on Wednesday. Okay, now specifying link user, database link. Okay, this one we've done that. When we specify fixed user, it's exactly what we've been doing, right? We create a database link, we connect to when we connect to HR identified by HR, we are specifying a fixed user, right? And then we use, okay, so here are the two types. Create a database link, blah, blah, connect to Scott as identified by, right? This is for private database link, and this one is for public database link. Okay, create a user. Okay, now this is the one that we have not been used to or to use to. This is creating a connected user. So for that one, it's just one user that's connected, right? So it's not, we don't specify. Okay, let's do an example here. Okay, let's exit. And let's connect as tones again. Okay, we're already connected as tones. Okay, so I'm going to connect as a user that I know that that user is also on the other data in the other database, right? So you create a database link with the connected user only if you know that that user is also in the other database, in the remote database, right? Otherwise, it will not work, right? So we know that this one, show user. Okay, this is sys. I want to do it as system. Okay, now. Okay, it's system, right? So I want to create a database link without a fixed user, right?
Yeah.
That's a fixed user. Fixed user is what we've been doing since DB1, right? When you specify connect to HR identified by HR, you're specifying a fixed user, right? Okay.
Yes.
Now we are creating a for database link, create database link 4, and that's it. We don't connect to anything identified by, we just put using music, right? And the database link is created. Now, what do you think will happen when we just do it like that? What do you think will happen?
What do you mean? Like what type of link
How
we
will you
created?
get to, yes. Do you think that that DB link gives you access to what objects in the other database?
I
I
think
think they will give you access to the whole database.
I think
Why?
the database because it's system.
Right, now let's try, right? Let's see. Select all, let's check from OE dot promotions at link 4. We have it, right? So it gives you, it's because system is the one, so you're creating a database link to have access to everything owned by system or everything that system has access to, right? So you have access to everything. And this is a private database link only for system, right? No other user can use it, only system, right?
Okay, Emma, a quick question.
Sure.
Can you connect as a user and you get access to it?
What do you think? What do you think? I think it's what I just
That's
said.
what I'm.
Yes, but you must think something. You see, when you don't specify the
Yes.
fixed user, right?
Yes.
And you create a database link, that database link is first, we didn't put create public, we just put create database link, so which means that it's private.
Right.
Right? And we didn't specify to which user to connect to. So Oracle would assume and would make sure we'll know that you mean to connect as the same user in the other database. So system and system password would be used because you didn't specify. So it will assume that you mean system/Brontech1, right? So Koji, considering the fact that it's a private database link, you don't see private here, or you don't see public here, right? Considering the fact it's a private database link, then you're going to select, if you try to select all from link 4,
It's
you're
not
going
gonna
to
work.
tell you it's not going to work because that user doesn't have the privilege.
Oh, I thought as much.
What?
I thought as much.
Yeah. If you just, all this time, we've only been creating public database link, private database links. We've only been creating private, even though they were not specified. But now we are going to specify public if we want other users to have access to them, right? So this is basically it for that one. You guys have any question? We're almost all the way down. Let's create a bit of design. Yeah, we're actually done. Okay, I think we're
So
done.
that means like in
Yep.
your previous example, like Koji will only have access to HR.employee, right? If you don't specify, well, if you don't specify, you just have access to HR.employee.
The thing is, you have yeah, it's whether or not you are able to access the link, right?
Right.
Right? That's the whole thing. Like,
Oh, okay, yeah. So you have to create his own link.
either he wants to create his own link or he has other links. But I think Koji has other links. He doesn't. I think this is link 4.
Yeah.
So Koji might be able to have access to OE.promotion, but using another link. Link 4 is private, belongs to system only, and only system has access to it. Right? Only system can use it. Koji cannot use it. Even if Koji can use another link that is valid to have access to the same table, but using that specific private link, he cannot. Right? But I think we used OE.promotion before, so I think he has access. There is a link, maybe link 3.
No, I'm sure Koji have link 1.
Let's see, link 3. Link 3 works.
Okay.
Link 3 is, link 1 wouldn't work. You know why?
It's private.
Because link 1 is only for HR. You see, it says table of view does not exist. We created the link 1 only for HR. For you to have access to HR object, but you don't have access to OE with link 1. You only have access to OE.promotions with link 3, because with link 3 you have access to an object. Okay, let's actually view that. Let's describe DB underscore DB underscore link. I think no, it's not the one. It's DB underscore DB underscore link.
You're connected as Koji now.
Oh, you're right. Thank you. Thank you. Create system. I was like, what the heck is going on? Okay. Okay, now we are going to select owner DB underscore link. Username, also the person who created it. From some people on exam day, I was telling them that your DB link doesn't exist in your database. They were arguing. They were arguing with me. Oh yeah, I'm like, no, you didn't. And
But
they
it shows.
created the other database.
But ML, it shows. Okay, that's true. They could create with another database because it
Yeah,
shows created.
they created in the wrong database, and that's a big problem. You can imagine at your job, like you're told to create a database in one database, and you create it in another database. That's kind of outrageous, anyway. But it's fine. That's how you learn. So you see, like DB underscore, you have like the first link one, right? Was created by owner Koji, right? And the owner is HR. No. Let me see. The first one is owner. The first one is DB link. So DB link is link one. Okay, the username is HR, so you'll have access to HR, and it was created by Koji. Okay, and it was created the day. Okay, that's an old DB link. Oh, it was confusing me. Okay, that was on the 5th. I was confused. Okay, so the owner is Koji, the DB link is link one, and the username is HR, and the date is May 11th. It's May 11th already. Okay, and that. Excuse me.
Bob Marley's there.
And Bob 11. Really?
Yeah.
I thought it was the 20th.
No, the king it was today.
They changed it to today?
No, it was today.
I didn't know. I thought it was the 20th of April.
No, the king.
Okay, anyway. So for link 2, right, it's public. Oh, actually, you created a public database link on May 5th.
Yeah, on my exam date.
Yeah, why? Because whatever, right?
Huh? But the truth is, I didn't know the difference, so I just said, for real, it's not learning.
Okay. Oh, that's good. That's good. But you only want to create a public database link if you're told to do so, because you don't want any user in your database to have access to other tables if they might not know what to do with them, right?
Right.
So the link 2 is owned by, it's public, so anyone has access to it, you see, public. And it was created by, you have access to HR with that one as well. But that one is, actually I'm gonna ask you guys, let's make full screen. Okay, you guys see link, can you guys see link 1?
Yes.
You have link 1 here. Who's the owner?
Koji.
It's HR.
Koji.
Yes, it's Koji. And you have access to what schema?
HR.
Right. Now the database link 2, who is the owner?
Public.
The owner is public?
Nah, can't be.
What you mean is that anyone has access to it. It's a public database link, so it belongs to everybody.
Okay.
Because it's public. Whoever created it just did a favor for the whole class. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So anyone has access to it. And using the link to database link, you have access to which schema?
Sure.
To HR.
Right.
HR.
And then that one. No, not that one. Use another one. Let's use
link 3.
Link 3. Is link 3 private or public?
Private.
It's private.
How do you know?
Because it doesn't say anything.
It wasn't specified.
Because it's not public. It doesn't say public.
It's not specified.
And you have access to which object? To which schema?
Tom.
To all.
You have access to?
Tom.
You have access to Tom's schema, and Tom's schema has the DBA privilege. And it was created by Koji. I think that one should be part of it. Okay, you guys know how to make it appear in one line? Yeah, we'll do that another day. For link 4, who does it belong to?
System.
Who created link 4? Is it private or public?
Is it private?
Private.
Private.
Yes, right. It's private. And you have access to which schema on the remote database?
System schema.
Exactly. You have access to system schema, and it's a private schema owned by system in the source database. Exactly.
Wait,
You
can
guys
you
get
explain the link 3 again, please?
link 3?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
You said something about link 3. You said the term was created by Koji, right? You said
Tom was created by Koji?
Link 3 was created by Koji.
Yes.
Yes, I want to ask, like, is there any, like, because here where you see it just says username, link 3, Tom.
No, because this.
All right, go on.
Oh, no, that one is different. That's a different one. Okay, let me see the dates, because I'm going by the dates. You have that one for this for this for this. You see, these two are different database link, but this one doesn't have a date. So my guess was that this one, let me just put it in one line, because this is one line. Okay. Let me issue the same SQL statement. Okay, this is better a little bit. Not too much. Okay, this is better. Okay, so we have public DB link HR. So this is the first one. This is the second one. This is the third one. This is system. This is system. This is Koji. Okay. Okay. You guys can see, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes the way it's set up is really not good.
Yeah, I think it's good now.
Yeah, so from here you can see that the link 3 was created by Koji, meaning that it's private. Only Koji has access to it, and it allows you to see Tom schema in the remote database. Are we good?
Yes.
Yes.
And you see that these two, that one, and that one, and that one, you can see that you only have system and link 4, which would mean that the owner, it means that it's private, and it also means that since the username wasn't specified, then it implies that it's also system that it has access to in the remote database. Are we good?
Yes.
Yes.
Emma,
Yes.
So can you give us the option like can we take an example to use DB link to lock a table?
You think so? No. You guys need to figure it out first, and then we'll come back and work on it on Wednesday. This is homework.
Okay, all right. Okay.
Yeah, this is homework. Okay, I want to show you, but this is homework because I didn't show the morning class, so can't show you guys. But it's the same. It's the same. You can use any DML you want with debiling. You mean that it's not only for tables. You can use it for other things as well, right? It's not only for tables.
So you can as well delete, you can as well drop.
Did you guys read question 6A?
Sorry?
Did you guys read question 6B? Using the database link created in A. Oh, what's wrong with typos? I'm sorry, I meant in A. Select the distinct roles and privileges of OE in ORCR. So you would select the privileges and the roles using the database links, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Honestly, after those 2 assignments, you guys will be good. No one will tell you anything about DB links. So any question?
Yeah, I just have a question. So how long is DB2 again?
It's 2.5 months, 3 months. But I'll try to rush because
so from there I'm gonna get a job.
You guys will get jobs. You guys will get good jobs, 6-figure jobs. I'm not worried about it. You guys are good. Anyway, I'm going to kind of not to rush too much, but I'll make it as hard as I can so that you guys can have the pressure. Because trust me, it's not getting easier. We are pressured too in projects, so it's pressure everywhere. But after that, it always pays off. So I want you guys that when you come to project, you're like, haha, it's easy.
Emerald, you'll be the one to take us for DB2?
That's the same thing I wanted to ask.
Yes. What do you think I'm doing?
Wow.
So no prof.
Prof would come in. I'm surprised Prof isn't here. He wanted to talk to you guys.
Wow, that's great.
Maybe he's busy, but he wanted to talk to you guys. He will come in from time to time if you want to ask him questions directly. But he's not here. I wanted him to be here.
The one handling it, then it means if we just put some little.
I'm the one what? Excuse me?
I said, you said you're the one taking us through now. I said, so we just need to put some little effort. So we're gonna be good.
You guys can trust me, guys. You guys can handle it. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. You guys can handle it. You guys did your whole exams on your own, and I mean, almost all of you guys, and even the people who submitted later on, you guys understood what you were doing, and some people didn't have that chance. Some people were just help or didn't really do it, right? Because we were in class, so we didn't really have, we were like, anyway. So you guys are good. You guys are good. Don't worry about it. Just, I'm going to make it extra hard because I know that the assignment questions would be very easy for you. That's why I gave you guys 7 extra questions because I know you guys can handle it. Because if you slack off, it's not going to be good. If you slack off, you'll be thinking, oh, DB2 is easy. You'll be sleeping. And then project will shock you like, oh my, what's this, right? And you want to be relaxing in project, not being stressed. So, yeah. I didn't even know I was going to be your TA in DB2. Prof told me like a few days ago. I was like, oh, I didn't know. I wanted to rest too, but it's okay. I'm learning as well. There are things that I thought I knew already, but I'm getting to understand it even better now.
You're right.
So it's good.
So in total, we have how many assignments? Oh,
15.
15. And then they're due every week.
You should have 2 assignments due per week or 3. Unable to connect? What do you mean? Yeah, you should. Normally today you had 1 assignment due for Wednesday, but you don't have your canvas yet, right? So that's basically why you won't be able to it won't be. I can tell you guys that it's due on Wednesday because you don't have your canvas. But other than
Emerald,
that, yes.
sorry, I didn't start the class so early. So I want to ask, when are our days for the scheduled day for the class?
Okay, as long as you guys are good, and I know you guys are good, as long as you submit your assignments, and I'll be checking, right, that at least half of the class submit, at least half of the people who pass the exam submit. I mean, to me, there are 78 people in DB2. The other one can be there, but I know that 78 pass. The other ones, I don't know. So I will make sure that if half of the class passes, like 39 or 40 people submit the assignment on time, I won't profit. No, I'll just think that, okay, maybe some people are just falling a little bit behind. But if only 10 people are submitting the assignment, I'll have to let Prof know that, okay, they need to come back to class on Friday, right?
You're saying it's like an option. I would rather you say we should. It's mandatory. That's my own view on it.
You want it to be mandatory on Friday?
No, I'm saying like the way you're putting it, it's like it's an option to submit it or not.
Submitting is not an option. You have to submit because I will report to Prof the students submitting and the students who are not. And I'll be checking if it's done right or if you're just submitting an empty page.
Emerald,
Yes.
I did not understand you. If we at your batch, when did you have your classes? Your classes were like Tuesdays.
Yeah, I have class.
Yeah, right?
How do you know about my classes?
I'm just listening. So
Yeah,
so
I have classes on Tuesday and on Thursday, and I used to have class on Fridays too.
So for us, it's gonna be like on Monday and Wednesday, or like on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
No, it's gonna be on Monday and Wednesday. You just keep the first 2 days and you drop Friday.
So now there's no changes for us. We need to alter the database.
No, I mean, it would be very hard for me to have. I mean, I would have to skip my classes, and I don't like skipping my classes, right? So I think it's perfect when it's like that. For me, at least for me, it's perfect.
Okay.
So I can attend my class because we have the same hours for our classes.
For you, it's good now. For me, that I alter my work schedule, that I was gonna be like this, that, and that, is gonna be bad for me too, right?
Yes, and please submit your assignment. If you're stuck, work with your group mates. If you're really, really mad, like it's beyond stuck, wait for the class, and we're gonna work through it together, right?
Excuse me, Mero, you said we'll be having classes Mondays and Wednesdays?
Yes.
That's a
no
third
Fridays.
time saying it.
No Fridays, as long as you submit your assignments on time. If most of you are submitting, meaning at least 40, I'm good. I'll tell Pro that you guys are submitting. But if you guys are not submitting and I'm only seeing 10 people or 20, I'll tell Prof they're not working. That you guys are not working, which is fair, right?
So we have Fridays to ourselves now.
You have?
Fridays free.
It's not free like you think. It's free to work.
Yeah.
I'll be giving you extra assignments. You better believe that.
Yeah. Thank you, Emerald. God bless everybody.
Someone should bring Prof up.
What do you mean?
Like bring him up. I thought he might have something to say, right?
What? Who?
Prof.
Is Prof here?
No, I'm saying someone should bring him up.
Yeah, Prof was with us this morning for like maybe 10 minutes, and this is what he said. So I'm just telling you guys what he said. So
Alright.
it's based on what you guys will, how well you guys will be doing. This is exactly that. If you submit on time, you will only have 2 days, and you shouldn't think that it will be. It's not a day off. It's a day for you guys to meet and work. This is exactly. It's not a day off. You don't have Fridays off. You're still meeting on Friday, except I won't be there. I'll be minding my own business, and you'll be working. That's basically it. Right? So it's not a day off. The way you're talking, coach, is like, oh yeah, I can have my day off. No, it's not a day off.
I wasn't the one that asked that question. No.
Okay, my bad.
They're good.
My Wi-Fi. Yeah. Okay, any question?
So now the usual time is 6, right? 6 to 10.
Yes, 6 to 10. Any question? If you don't have question, we can leave early, no problem. Any question on DB links? Me connect with my hotspot. Any question?
Nope.
No?
Yes, no.
Okay. Since you guys don't have any question, then we can just meet next Wednesday. We can finish now. We can be done now. So we can meet next time. And make sure you do your assignment, please. And if you're stuck, we'll work on that. If you don't come back with assignment, with questions, I will assume that you got everything perfect, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. So I guess we are done for today. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Take care.
Thanks so much.
God bless you.
You too.